Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So we got plenty of new info to go through with Realm of Magic, so let's get right into it. So first off, we have this official blog post. Do you like magic? How about spellcasting? Competing with friends to find out who has mastered more tricks? Or have you ever found yourself waving a magic wand only to realize it doesn't work the way you had hoped? Simmer, have we got some news for you? More accurately, have we got some news for your Sims? This one has been a long time brewing, and we hope you're entranced by The Sims 4 Realm of Magic, coming to PC and Mac on September 10th, and console on October 15th, 2019. Read on to learn more about this otherworldly pack. I wonder if with the whole bit about only to realize the wand doesn't work the way that you thought it would indicate that, yeah, it is possible to have some wands that fail on you, or if it's just, oh, in real life, you just hoped you could make a wand that actually works, and, well, of course, it doesn't. Next, we have Welcome to Glimmerbrook. It's a quiet town. Family homes, places to hang out, a dense wooded area with a mysterious pathway. Wait, what is back there, Simmer? What could this not-so-secret trail possibly lead? Well, if your sim has any bit of adventure in their personality, they'll want to know, and what they'll discover is a world unlike any other in The Sims 4. First, a quick warning, once your sim goes through that portal door, they won't be able to unsee this enchanted world, and they certainly won't want to leave without learning a few spells. So that's pretty neat. I like the name of Glimmerbrook. It just sounds nice to me. I'm not sure why, but I guess it does have that mixture of, okay, it sounds somewhat realistic, but then the glimmer part, it's like, oh, magical, that sort of thing. Next, we have Getting Crafty. Speaking of spells, who better to learn magic from the worst? I mean the best. Once through the portal, Sims can meet spellcasters who just might teach them a thing or two. Plus, Sims can get experimental with a giant cauldron. Yeah, it's pretty giant, alright. Collect elements to make interesting potions, and even test their skills against other aspiring spellcasters. This is gonna be good. Wicked good. I am really glad that magic duels are returning. I think my favorites were in The Sims Making Magic for The Sims 1, because then you had that platform that you stand on, and then there's a sim standing on an opposing platform, and then you just lay out the elements of the spell that you're going to do, and then it's kind of like Pokemon, where there's one that's strong against another, and some that are weak against another. It was pretty fun, so I hope Realm of Magic can have something like that too. I did like the vampire duels, but there wasn't really any strategy to it other than, oh, does this vampire have a higher power level than the other? Well, then they're probably going to win. And those are physical fights anyways with the vampires, whereas with spellcasters, it's going to be a bit more of a mental thing, I guess, hopefully, because it's not throwing punches or biting or whatever. It's about spells. And then Wardrobe for Wizardry. Creating spells is great and all, but don't forget about dressing the part. To get your sim in the magic-making spirit, they can don celestial dresses. That makes me think of Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy. Accessories, and more to blend in with other spellcasters or stand out among the crowd. What will your sim be wearing when they master the recipe for Love Potion, or when they finish that challenging quest? The choice is yours. What I've seen so far I really like with the new Create Sim items, and I find it interesting that they mention a quest. So is there going to be something like a very light version of the quest in Strangerville? I don't know. It would be cool though. I remember even Making Magic did have these little mini quests, and you could get rewards out of them. They were pretty short though. From what I remember, they were just very short, simple tasks, though they could be very challenging. But I guess realistically, it makes more sense that Realm of Magic would fall into that category rather than it being a storyline like Strangerville. Alright, so now it's time to move on to Twitter, where I've taken 37 screenshots. Oh boy, that took a lot of time to sort through. But let's start by talking about the new world. So SimGuru Romeo says there will be 2 new worlds. World 1 is Glimmerbrook, where you will be able to live and move your Sims in. World 2 is the Magic Realm. You are not able to officially move into this world, but there is nothing stopping you from putting a bed on the lot. Romeo also says the Magic Realm has one big lot and can be edited with the bb.enable free build cheat. Glimmerbrook has 5 lots and functions just like any other normal world. And in addition, he says the sages have done everything they can to hide the magical arts from normal mortals. The only way to access the Magic Realm is with the portal, a spell, or the Glimmerstone that is given to every spellcaster. And when asked about what the Glimmerstone is, it is actually a crystal. It is given to every spellcaster. And when asked why we need a cheat in order to edit the Magic Realm, he says we added some special nodes and code to make the 3 sages stay in their respective areas of the house. However, if you rebuild the entire lot, the worst thing that will happen is the sages will just walk around like normal Sims. Nothing too bad. So that's pretty interesting. I do like how the realm is meant to be a secret place. You can't just travel there from map view. It is too bad that you can't easily edit the realm. But I guess in the worst case scenario, we can add some things to the realm using the tool mod by Twisted Mexi. With brooms, SimGuru Romeo confirmed that yes, they can be used outside of the Magic Realm, and you can purchase from a variety of brooms. Once a broom is in your Sim's inventory, you can click on it to make that your preferred method of travel. You will now be able to fly anywhere. Different ones have been confirmed as well. Yes, one thing we really wanted to capitalize on was the customization of your spellcaster. You can choose from a variety of wands, brooms, spells, and familiars. You can even choose to cast without a wand if that's your thing. And it is also possible with Get to Work to sell potions and wands and other magical stuff. They're even including a cool wand display case, and brooms will be able to be hung on walls. The amount of customization is one of my favorite things about the Sims franchise, so I'm really glad to see that they focused on that in Realm of Magic. And SimGuru Houts confirms that, like we did with Strangerville, we've worked to keep weird/occult stuff from spreading out across your game unless you make it happen yourself. And SimGuru Romeo confirms that you can create spellcasters straight from Create a Sim, or ask one of the 3 sages to perform the Rite of Ascension on your Sim. Only spellcasters can learn magic. But you can be born as a spellcaster. There is a new trait called the Magical Bloodline. This will allow your Sim to become a spellcaster later in life. I really like the sound of this new trait. It sounds like it's designed specifically for family players. And, well, I mean, as family players, a lot of us are very vocal about wanting more content in that direction. So it's good to see this sort of thing, even in an occult-related pack like Realm of Magic. In addition to that, it was also confirmed that children will not be able to comprehend their full potential with magic until they are a teen. Sounds pretty similar to how the vampires work. One other different way to get a spellcaster that was confirmed is through the Create a Sim Stories feature that was added to the game for free recently, so I guess then they are going to add new questions to those quizzes that can result in you getting a spellcaster in the end. Not only is there a new trait, there's 2 new aspirations, one for the alchemy/potion path, and one for the spellcasting and energy path. Speaking of styles, SimGuru Romeo confirms that there are 4 styles of magic: practical, mischief, and untamed. They're represented by the 3 sages. There's also a 4th style, which is alchemy. This is the art of potion crafting. You can mix and match styles if you like, or go down a single style. The choice is yours. Only spellcasters can make potions though. However, anyone can cook mac and cheese, chili, and chopino on the cauldron. He also confirms that you do need the cauldron to make potions. However, if you have a cauldron, you no longer need a stove. So that's really interesting. And there are two versions of the cauldron, a normal one with normal fire and a fancy one with magical fire. Sounds like they're both the same size, which is pretty unfortunate in my opinion. And it is confirmed that they will work off the grid. I think that's pretty awesome. The off the grid lot trait I think still has a ways to go, but yeah, this is a nice unexpected touch for this lot trait, so yeah, that's cool. The idea of maybe having a witch that's living just off in a remote location, living off the grid, could be interesting. One interesting fact about the Spellcasters is that this is the first occult in The Sims 4 without a second form. And Simguru Romeo did say that it did seem strange, the idea of having a second form for spellcasters. Same reason spellcasters do not have weaknesses, instead they have curses. And they can have up to 3 of these curses. Some of them are pretty nasty. You will get them by failing feats of magic. Don't worry, there are a few ways you can dispel curses. An interesting point that someone brought up in my Realm of Magic discussion stream is that there are curses in the game already in another form thanks to Jungle Adventure because of the relics that you can craft in that pack. So it would be interesting to see some integration with those curses as well. In terms of the end of life and the creation of new life, Sugu Romeo confirmed that there's no new woohoo locations in Realm of Magic, but death might come knocking if you push your spell casting to the limits. Now it's time to talk about familiars. So Simguru Ninja says, familiars help your sim conserve their magical energy as they cast spells. They also aren't afraid of death at all. They're fantastic protectors. You cannot create these familiars in Create a Sim though. They need to be found and collected in the world. Unless you have cats and dogs, because those pets can be your familiars too. Heck yes. I'm really glad they thought of this, especially with the whole, having the black cat as your familiar as a witch. Yeah, so that's really cool that they accommodated for that. Simguru Romeo did elaborate a bit more on this, saying if you own cats and dogs, you will be able to designate your pet as a familiar, you will be able to send them out to forage magical ingredients. They also will have cool sparkles around them. I hope those sparkles are optional though, like with the Fame Shine, because yeah, I'm really glad they gave us that option with Get Famous. I know that can be annoying, and then in most cases, you normally have to download a mod to disable that sort of stuff, so it was really cool that we didn't need a mod for that specific thing. Another fact about the familiars is that they do not take up a slot in your household or have needs, so you can have a lot of familiars and you won't have to worry about that 8 sim limit. Also, you can have as many familiars as you want bound to your sim, you can only have 1 summoned at a time. Simguru Romeo also confirms that they did not want any familiar wand or broom to be better than the next. If you want the normal looking stuff, it should not be worse than the crazy looking stuff. I'm really glad Sims can have more than 1 familiar in their collection. I would have assumed that they could only have that 1. And that is an interesting thing where they've made all the things equal this time. I do remember in The Sims 3 Supernatural, you did have some wands that were better than the other, but it does leave things a bit less flexible because if you like the look of the cheapest wand but you want to be really strong with it, then you can't. You're just stuck. But this time that won't be a problem. So Simguru Romeo says that only spellcasters can ride brooms, and anyone can have a broom on their wall. And brooms work like bats, and new hairstyles, no new facial hair, no new hats, no capes or cloaks, and they do have quite a bit of accessories to show off for spellcasters. I think it is cool that brooms can move around like how you can fly here as a bat when you're a vampire that has that skill, but it sounds like they're also confirming that you can't use brooms as a method of travel to an entirely different lot or district, because I was hoping there'd be something like with cars in The Sims 2 where you would hop on the broom and then fly up and fade into the map view, but I guess that's not the case. As a side note, I find it amusing that brooms are another mode of transportation that we're getting before cars, because we got boats with island living and now we're getting brooms. So what else are we gonna get before we finally get cars in The Sims 4? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we got hot air balloons before them. But getting back to familiars, the crystal ball looking things you see in the trailer are actually the familiars. Think of them as little Pokeballs, except way more comfortable and luxurious for your familiar. That is interesting, especially considering one of the familiars is Veiled, the Void Critter, which do remind me a lot of Pokemon. And Sims Community did make this compilation of images of the familiars that we know about so far, because these images are actually ones that the Sim Gurus are using as their new icons. And I really like what we're seeing so far. I don't know if this is every single familiar that you can collect in the game, or maybe if there's still some more, but I really love the variety that I'm seeing. One of the ones that really sticks out to me is the dragon. So I guess we can have pet dragons in The Sims 4, but it's not quite the same. There's also a bit of interesting lore to talk about, as SimGuru Romeo confirmed that there are a few void critters that are based off of myth and legends. Babalus is a real-life creature that can be tamed by children in the hamster cage. Veiled possesses the powers of the cosmic void and might have origins in the magic realm. I really love hearing bits of lore like this that add to the fiction in The Sims. It would be pretty interesting to see if children could react to Veiled being a real thing in their eyes after playing with the cards for a while, and it's just like, whoa, wait, this is a real thing and not just something I'm seeing on TV and in cards and in merchandise. 2 new harvestables are confirmed for this game pack, Valerian Root and Mandrake Root. I'm not really surprised to see 2 new plants introduced through this game pack. Does make sense to go with potion brewing, as discussed in that tweet. With Glimmerbrook's Premades, there are 2 households living there. One is a couple of spellcasters, and the other is a family of spellcasters with a strong magic lineage. So in total, 6 Sims to start. That's not bad, especially considering the world isn't that big and Forgotten Hollow only had 3. The Vittore siblings and Vlad. I know some of you were disappointed that for some reason mermaids did not have their own special gravestone. Thankfully though, this is not the case with spellcasters. They do have their own gravestone and urn, and it's actually SimGuru Romeo's favorite one so far. In terms of mortality, spellcasters still age like normal Sims, but there's a potion of immortality that you can craft. No issues there, that's exactly what I expected. And Romeo also confirms that you can perform magic anywhere you desire. Be careful though, people may not react kindly to the magical arts. I do remember there was a similar sort of thing in The Sims 1 where there was an NPC that would come and penalize your Sim if they just cast spells out in the world in front of tons of Sims who aren't witches or wizards. So good to see that there is going to be something like that again. And now a few things that are confirmed not to be coming. So we are not getting fairies, though there's going to be a familiar, lol. And then there's no new food recipes, but there's 15 new potions that you can make on the cauldron. And there's no new skills, specifically, but similar to vampire, spellcasters will have various bars of progression with them. And there's no direct killing with magic, but that does not mean that Sims can't accidentally walk into a fire that your spellcaster created. None of these no's really bother me much, but I was kinda hoping for fairies, maybe, but then I don't know how we'll get fairies, like as in full-on fairies. Maybe they could still be part of an expansion pack, because I think having another game pack just for fairies would end up a little too similar, since fairies also fall under a general theme of magic. It's not the same as like mermaids, for example, they're more aquatic. About the portals, when Luca asked, will we be able to place the Magic Realm portal on the lot, Or is it only located in the world? Simguru Romeo says this was something I really wanted to push for. It is a bit more complicated than a single tweet. If you tune into our live stream on September 6th, I will cover this in much more detail. Just know the portal is not the only way to travel to the realm. So that is interesting. That has me intrigued, and good to know that there is going to be a live stream for this pack on September 6th. It's a little ways away, but hopefully it'll be really cool. With Spellcaster progression, Simguru Romeo says it will be very similar to vampires, plus some. Not only will they have perks and curses, but we have added an entire spell book where they will log the spells and potions they have learned. Oh heck yes, this sounds very exciting to me. I really love the spell book that we had in The Sims Making Magic, so I'm really glad to see that return. I can't wait to see what that looks like. In terms of reputation, spells do affect it. However, there is no notion of a bad or good spellcaster. You can choose which of the 4 styles you prefer: practical, mischief, untamed, or alchemy. Now that's intriguing to me as well, because with this whole morality thing not being an issue with reputation, how do spells affect reputation? Which ones do that? I don't know. It's a little confusing to me, but I'm still glad that reputation is factored in. The reputation system is one of my favorite features for sure in Get Famous. With how seasons affect the magic realm, they don't actually. Simguru Romeo says the magic realm is surrounded by a swirling vortex of magic. Seasons are unable to penetrate the void. Well, that actually does sound like a reasonable explanation to me. It doesn't really strike me much as a place that would have normal weather. But he does say that they built a custom day-night cycle for this world. It is really cool. I wonder just how much of it is different. So far, we've only seen the realm at night, not during the daytime. So, is the moon always there? Does the sun actually rise eventually? Or is it just something where it is just that the sunrise and sunset times are different, like they are in Forgotten Hollow? Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. Glimmerbrook does have all seasons affecting it though. Lastly, we have an interesting strategy suggestion. So Ashafi says, same in terms of the cauldrons. I really wish we could make them stovetop. I don't want a witch living in a small flat in San Myshuno to have to use a huge cauldron. And Simguru Romeo replies saying, possible solution for your tiny living spellcaster. Use the Glimmerstone to travel to the magic realm from anywhere. Use those cauldrons to craft potions. Each batch of potions yields 4 bottles. Learn the copy-pasto spell and copy your potions instead of brewing them again. Interesting idea. I still wish we had a smaller cauldron, but at least we do have the ability to take advantage of cauldrons that are in the magic realm so that we don't have to worry about money or space for the cauldron at home. Being able to copy potions though with that copy-pasto spell seems a little bit overpowered. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video. Wow, this was probably the hardest one to do of these series of videos this year, and yeah, wow, it's past 4 AM right now. That took forever, but I hope it was worth it. I really hope you got a lot of interesting info out of this video. And this is only the beginning. I'm sure there will be lots more info to come. So be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.